What's going on, culés, and welcome back to BlaugranaZone, your destination for all things Football Club Barcelona. We're going to get into the FC Seoul versus Barça preview and potential lineups, but first, we need to discuss the elephant in the room. Mark Ander Ter Stegen. Need I say more, guys? This is a name that has been thrown through the mud, praised. He's a very polarizing figure right now for us culés, and I feel like when you ask somebody about him, they either love him or they hate him, or they hate that they love him, they love that they hate him. Either way, people feel very, very strongly about him. Now, I understand that he's a club legend. I understand that he brought us to our most recent Champions League. Never mind the fact that it's been 10 years, but he's a legend and he should be treated as such. I had no problem with that. Now, there are reports coming out that he was a bit of a bully when he regained his fitness and he was trying to fight for his spot in the first team. Now we all know how that turned out. We had a terrible loss and a terrible tie. I think that's what it was, or two ties. Something like every shot that goes against him, it's a goal. So I'm tired of it. I think that players can fall off gracefully or they can fall off disgracefully. So now we've seen very graceful fall offs, people who exit Europe quietly and they want to go out on a high. But it seems like Ter Stegen is completely against that. He wants to force the team to let him stay so he can be healthy because it's a World Cup year and he wants to be the starting goalie for Germany. Guess what, pal? Manuel Neuer exists, okay? And until he breaks both legs, you're not going to be the starting goalkeeper for Germany. I feel like that's like the best kept secret in Germany right now. That Manuel Neuer is going to stay their goalie. But today, Hansi Flick was asked about the departure of Ter Stegen, to which he said that the team was going to decide captains, and it's going to be decided within the next 2 weeks or 2 weeks before the season begins. Sorry. So 2 weeks before the season begins, we will know who our captains will be. I vote that Ter Stegen is stripped of captaincy, and we give it to Rafinha. I really liked how Rafinha looked in the first game, in the first preseason game at least. The energy that he brings to the team, the drive, the heart, the ambition. It's heartbreaking to see a player like Rafinha not be our captain. You know what I mean? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know who you think should be captain. Let me know what you guys think of this Ter Stegen saga. Is Ter Stegen gonna finally be out for 4+ months to let us register Joan Garcia, or is he gonna play the long game with us and he's gonna force us to keep him registered on our books? I think he should do the right thing for the club and the right thing for himself. And he already confirmed he's having surgery, but take the long leave of absence. Take at least 4 months so that we can get him off our books and we can register a player like Joan Garcia. That's just my opinion. Let me know yours. Now, no more signings in principle, right? How does that sound to you guys? In principle, no more signings. Just that little in principle is what gets me a little bit conspiracy theorist when it comes to Joan Laporta. When it comes to his quote that he told a reporter who asked him about more summer signings, he said, in principle, there are no more signings coming. I think that that is some bullshit. Excuse my language, but I don't think that Joan Laporta would come out and say this publicly if he didn't have a little something, a little puppeteer hands in the behind the scenes. I think Joan Laporta said this as a strategy. I think he said this to get everyone off our backs. If you guys have been noticing in the Nico Williams saga and the Luis Diaz saga, clubs have been on our backs trying to hijack our signings. They think they're gonna pull a Chelsea on us. Well, Chelsea didn't even. Chelsea tried to hijack Kunde, didn't happen. They tried to hijack Rafinha, didn't happen. Clubs are trying to hijack our deals. I get that we're broke, but guys, come on. You can't even hijack our deals. You wanna get up all in our business? That's insane. So I think Joan Laporta came out to say this to get clubs off our backs, specifically Bayern Munich, because every time we were in the mix for Nico Williams, Bayern Munich are right there. Every time we're in the mix for Luis Diaz, Bayern Munich are right there. Bayern Munich is when you're with a pretty girl. Bayern Munich is the guy that's like, is it not working out? Can I sneak in? Is it not working out? Can I cut in? Like Bayern Munich is that guy. You don't like that guy. You know what I mean? So I think that Joan Laporta said this to get the stench off our backs that we're gonna make another signing. I think he said this as a strategy, but most recently, it's been reported that Andreas Christensen is staying at the club. I would personally count that as a signing because we can't afford to lose a player like him. I've always said that if Flick made the sub for Christensen instead of Araujo, we're in the Champions League final. We were that close. I think it was a game of inches, right? Centimeters, really. So I think that Joan Laporta coming out to say this is a strategy, and we have retained a player like Andreas Christensen, which I think is absolutely fantastic. It's world class, and I think that anything that's going on behind the scenes, it's just whatever signing we do make, if we make another one, because I think we need reinforcements at the right back and left back, because we can't afford to run Kunde and Balde into the ground again. We saw how that turned out. So if we do make any type of signing, it's going to be, you're not going to see a here we go from Fabrizio Romano. You're not going to see leaks and reports. It's going to be like a bam, like a Rooney Bargy. Like nobody saw that coming. That was a sign that was like, oh, it might happen. Boom, it happened. You get what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Get active in those comments. I want to hear your thoughts on what's going on. Now, here's my starting lineup for tomorrow's game: FC Seoul versus FC Barcelona. I think at striker, we're going to have Robert Lewandowski. I think last game, the fact that we tweaked around a little too much with our starting positions caused us to really get bullied in the first half. So I think we're going to start off strong with Robert Lewandowski, and then one row down, Rafinha, Fermin Lopez, Lamine Yamal. I have a lot of hope for Fermin this year. I think he will have a breakthrough season. One layer down, I see Pedri and Frankie de Jong. Last game we started Gavi. I have hope for Gavi. I see rays of greatness in Gavi, but this season is make or break for Gavi. Gules, let me know what you guys think of that. I think we've been putting a lot of faith in Gavi, but he has fallen just short every time. And with Frankie De Jong staying long term and staying fit, I do see Gavi falling out of favor in the starting lineup. So tomorrow I see Pedri and Frankie De Jong in those positions. One layer down, I see Balde, Kubarsi, Inigo, Kunde. Where have you heard of a back four better than that? When these guys are healthy, and I hope they stay healthy, this this defense can rival any defense in Europe. Don't talk to me about Hoysen, Saliba, Upamecano, Alvaro Carreras, Rudiger. Don't talk to me about none of these guys. I think our back four, when healthy, can rival any team in Europe. I don't think anyone gets past them. I think the fact that we were missing our left back and right back towards the end of the season is what caused us to deteriorate the way we did. But guess what? We still got three major trophies out of that, which is more than a couple clubs can say themselves last season who went trophyless, right? So I think that that will be the starting 11 for tomorrow's game. If you happen to miss the game because it's going to be at 7 a.m. Eastern time, you can tune in right here to the BlaugranaZone for a post game wrap up and to give you guys some notes, everything you missed about the game if you decide to sleep in. But thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, get active in those comments. I will see you there.